so well for Nigeria. The Super Falcons are getting ready to play in the semi-finals of the 9th edition of the African Women's Championship taking place in Namibia. Before they left, they said they want to win this championship. Tomorrow, 4 p.m. Nigerian time, Nigeria will take on South Africa. Cameroon will take on Ivory Coast. Tunde Koiki, they said they want to win the title. If they beat South Africa, should they be expecting a trophy here?
Well, it's 2 games to go. You have to walk. Walk the talk. Yeah. So it's one thing for you to say that you want to be African champions, and another thing for you to actually get on the pitch and do it. And the only way you can do it is by removing all opposition in your front. Anyhow, you have to do it. The three place teams qualify for the Women's World Cup, and that is also particularly key. But I think at this stage, we've qualified for the World Cup before in the past. Only the Olympics, our last Olympics, were the Falcons were they absent. But I think we'd like to get back to the World Cup as African champions. Playing South Africa is a difficult game because they were the last team that eliminated Nigeria at the last Nations Cup. An excellent free kick by Janine Van Wyk. There's the tendency, the danger that these players might be thinking of vengeance. Like I said, Edwin Okon should begin to act as a woman manager in this case, and ensure that his players keep their eyes on the ball. They are not distracted by any thoughts. If beating the South Africa will be sweet, but it's not the end of everything. It's not the ultimate. Being African champions is the ultimate, and we must not fail to recognize that this is the most successful African team in history. Six continental titles, the possibility of a 7th.
Let me get you talking. First game against Cote d'Ivoire, 4-2. They crushed Zambia 6-0 and then defeated in the last game. They ended up 2-0. They're scoring goals. It means if they score more goals, they can consolidate on their performance.
The ratio is high, 4 goals per game. That should scare anybody. But like I said the other time, Tunde said it also, 6-time African champions. There's really nothing they will do on the African continent that will surprise you. But because of what happened the last time, you expect them to be cautious. I'm not expecting a basket full of goals, but I do expect that we will do enough to win that game. Defeating South Africa gives you an automatic place in Canada. And I think that's more important. Take it one game at a time. Before they left, they were talking about reclaiming the title. It's quite possible. But you have to clear all opposition in your front. And you take it one game at a time.
Interesting question. Would you rather be African champions or qualify at the World Cup?
I'll take both.
I like that. You're being a typical Nigerian. That's it. He wants it all. Guys, remember, we're also monitoring live action in the UEFA Champions League. We're seeing some interesting results. You just want to take us through some of the results.
Well, all I can say is that Roma have had the worst possible day in office. 7-1 at home to Bayern Munich. Ian Robin getting a brace. There are so many goal scorers: Thomas Muller, Frank Ribery, Mario Götze as well. Also, there's also an interesting scoreline away in Belarus. Bate Borisov are being utterly annihilated at home by Shakhtar Donetsk 7-0 as well.
It's one of the problems that Shakhtar do have. Their stadiums being shelled.
If Shakhtar gets this kind of problem and they are playing this well, probably they'll pray that maybe this problem should continue. But they are doing excellently well. 7-0 away from home. FC Porto also leading Athletic Bilbao by 2-1. Chelsea massacring Maribor Slovenia by 5-0 at Stamford Bridge. Schalke and Sporting Lisbon are playing what I term to be the football equivalent of a table tennis match. 3-3, end-to-end stuff in that game. Apoel Nicosia are grinding down the wheels of the Paris Saint-Germain juggernaut. It's goalless there in Cyprus. And the earlier kickoff was CSKA Moscow playing out a 2-2 draw with Manchester City in an empty stadium. And also Barcelona also leading Ajax by 2-0. Neymar and Lionel Messi on the score sheet.
FC Porto as well. FC Porto and Athletic Bilbao.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
So that's it. Action coming from the UEFA Champions League, and it's goals. Guys, I try to run through all the results I'm seeing here, and I can't even calculate in 10 seconds the goals we're seeing. It's almost more than 30. Goals.
Definitely.
The UEFA Champions League. That's it. It's the Champions League. Everyone there is a winner. That's all we can take for this segment. Let's go on a quick break now. We'll come back. We'll give attention to the Nigerian Professional Football League, the LMC. They're coming hard on Nembe City. Dumnodio Kunta will join us and we'll talk about it. Do stay. Welcome back, Sports Tonight on Channels Television. We're taking a look at all that is going down in your exciting world of sports. Remember, eyes are firmly fixed on action going on in the UEFA Champions League. I told you it's been a tale of goals, goals, goals. Let's come back home now and talk about the Nigerian Professional Football League. The league management company, they're trying all they can to ensure that the league is admirable again, and particularly if you abandon a game or there's a pitch invasion, the LMC will come for you. And that's what Nembe City and Giwa FC they're going through at the moment. And Nodi Okonta joins us now. Nodi, what's the update? Giwa FC going through one storm to another.
Well, there are 3 games. It's more than 3. It's more than 3. But 2 particularly are under focus. 3 until the Sharks Giwa game joined them. 2 from the same team, but against different teams. That was the Giwa against Lobby Stars game. Then the second one was between Gombe State, Nembe City and Gombe United. Yeah. Those 2 games, similar circumstances. Penalty awarded in late minute. One of them France encroached the pitch. The other one, players refused to continue the game. So the LMC took a decision, but every decision from the LMC has to go to the NFF disciplinary committee for an endorsement. So for LMC, every decision the LMC takes concerning matters arising from league dispute has to go. It's just provisional. Yeah. So it has to go through the ratification from the NFF and D. And they came up with far-reaching decision verdicts. Some upheld, some they have to adjust, and we're going to see what happened today. They came up with that because, of course, we've been complaining that the O&D takes a long time to take decisions, so that it affects the free flow of football. Yeah. But we're going to see some of the decisions, and these are decisions by the NFFO and D. The other replay of the game between that was the game between Giwa and Sharks. That was last week Wednesday game. The LMC said the game should be played in the 78 minutes. That was why when that game was stopped. Penalty awarded. Shark protested. That was a missile from a fan on UFO, unidentified fire object from fan, and hit a shark. That's what I call it. Because the Giwa is saying it was not from their fan, so we just put it at that.
The object just disappeared.
Yes, and he hit a Sharks midfielder, that's Lekon Gabriel. So that game should be played in the 78th minute. But the O&D said no, it has to be replayed from the start to finish.
That's 90 minutes.
90 minutes, and that game is going to be
12 minutes.
That game is going to be played in Abuja. Giwa had to play their next 3 home games in Abuja. That's the FIFA Go project in Abuja. They've been banished to Abuja, so their next 3 home games are going to be played. In Abuja. The O&D they upheld the decision of the LMC because this one too was stated. The Gombe Nembe City game in Omoku, penalty awarded to Gombe United. 2 minutes to the end of the game, Nembe's player said they won't continue. That was the situation. Now, the game has been awarded to Gombe United, so that means they upheld the decision of the LMC. They awarded the game to Gombe United. So, Nembe City to lose 3 points, 3 goals from that game. That game in itself. Yeah. So, they've lost that game to Gombe United. The coach of Nembe City, John Aranka, and the goalkeeper trainer, Felix Levy, have been suspended for 1 year. So, that means they're not going to be on the bench for 1 year. Nembe City are still going to lose 3 points. Accrued force. That means they've lost 6 points from that game against Gombe. The same decision again happened again. The same things happened again against Lobby. They lost 3.3 goals to Lobby. So it means the NFF awarded that game, and that game again that was aborted to Lobby Star. Nembe will still lose on that 3 points from this same game. So I think it's a massive.
Nembe is gone.
Yeah. They're gone. It's gone.
They have 28 points.
But the only soft landing spot from Nembe is that there's still an appeals committee. They'll take this to an appeals committee. Appeals committee is the final arbiter. So whatever comes out of the appeals, they must accept. If they overturn or they endorse, that's the situation.
Are you sure they won't go to CAS?
Well,
everybody seems to
be going to CAS. But this one is very crucial, very technical, and the LMC, the O&D must take a good look at this case. They've been fined. Nigeria United have been fined 1 million naira for feeding an illegal player. It's one player. His name is Pankegariba.
Yeah, remember he scored a hat-trick.
Again, that was the game that cost him. Thank you very much. That was the game that